My name is Thaddeus Strickland. Life has been nothing but crazy, full of fun, excitement, lots of days where I thought, this wasn't going to work out. But being able to travel, being able to spend time with friends and family, I love it. There's a certain feeling you get when you're not tied down to anything. And once you get a taste of that, even just a little bit, you become addicted. The money's cool, what you can do with money is cool, but traveling the world with my best friends, creating memories at such a young age, all because we own businesses online, we're able to see the world. And because of what I've done, I've been able to speak at these events and teach people how to get started with what got me started in the business scene. And the world's changing. If you can't adapt, well, you'll just get past. So I'm finally 21 now, and I've come such a long way from when I got started when I was 17. And I've started software companies, launched e-commerce businesses, built brands, created content for brands, sold software companies. I started a YouTube channel to teach people about business, and I hope this video inspires you to get started as well, because there is no better time in the history of mankind than to get started right now.
Okay, yeah. So my name's Thaddeus Strickland. I grew up in Washington State, and I mainly do e-commerce and SaaS right now, like software as a service. I got started with branding, and I failed miserably with that. I lost
Mhm.
lost everything I'd saved up from like refereeing soccer games and everything.
How old were you at that time?
I was I want to say like it was like senior year of high school.
Senior
Um,
year?
yeah, senior year of high school is when I like decided I wanted to like hop into business and stuff. Like beforehand, it's like, I mean, the thing that even got me into business, right, was like my dad worked for Microsoft for like
Okay.
14 years.
Okay.
But then in like that little recession or whatever we had back then, like they laid him off after like working
hmm
there for so long, and he was like
Like
he said like
08,
yeah, like 08,
2008, that one? Yeah.
around there. Yeah. Um, and I just remember like he came home like crying, and I was just like I mean I didn't understand, I guess, like the situation fully because I was pretty
Yeah.
young. Um, but like at that point I was just like, what I did realize is like, dude, like my dad's been working for them for so long, and then like just like that he's like it's like done. Um,
Yeah.
and so I was like, damn, that sucks. And so I like from that point on I like had this little thing in the back of my head where it was like I just want to do something on my own. I
hmm
had no idea what. Like at first I wanted to be like a gaming YouTuber. So like
Yeah.
I had a little YouTube channel. I got to like 3K subs.
Wait,
Uh,
when? Like 18? At 18?
no, this
Or
was like
earlier than that?
earlier, man.
Oh,
Yeah, like this was when I was like a freshman or sophomore in high school.
you had like 3K subs too?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, that's not bad.
It was like Minecraft and Skyrim,
Uh-huh.
man. I was big on those.
On the computer or what?
Yeah, computer.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I got it there. It was cool too, because like I remember like I made my first like $100 off of like Google AdSense, and I was
hmm
like I'm
Yeah.
I'm making money on my own, and
hmm
that was cool. And then like kids in my high school found out, and like I would just get like not, I wouldn't say bullied, but like it just like I didn't like people knowing that, and like they would
Yeah.
talk, and it was just like I let that get to my head, which was like something I shouldn't have done, but like I did. So I stopped that, and I was like, I'm gonna do something else. Um, and then I kind of stumbled on business, and that's when I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I don't have to tell people what's up. I don't have to like be super
Yeah.
public about everything. I can just kind of just lay low and just make money. So that's
Behind the
when
scenes, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then so that's when like I was like I played soccer all my life, so I was really big on
Mhm.
soccer. So I would referee
What
soccer,
position?
striker and right mid, man.
Oh, strike. So me, right mid too, bro. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to see you on the field, bro.
All right. Okay, let's go.
Yeah,
Um,
bro.
yeah, so that was like, I was playing that all my life. Like I wanted to, like at one point I wanted to like play for college and stuff, but
Mhm.
I decided not to just because like of business, and I just wanted to work on that.
Yeah.
Like my mentality, right? Like I know a lot of people say like you shouldn't get into business like for money or like things like that, but like
Mhm.
damn, like as a kid, like I was broke. Like my parents didn't grow up like wealthy or anything.
Mhm.
Like my dad was working like 2 full-time jobs when I was like
Mhm.
really younger, and my
Mhm.
mom like came on a boat from Vietnam. So like
Yeah. So we yeah, a little bit about your parents' past. I remember you mentioning that before.
yeah. So like so again like my mom immigrated here
Mhm.
from Vietnam.
Mhm.
Like no college, like no degree really, no high school degree, no nothing. And then my dad, just because like I'm the oldest sibling, and so I have two
Mhm.
younger siblings. So he was working like 2 full-time jobs, which I don't even think is like legal. Um, I don't know how you
Yeah.
but he was doing that to like provide for my family and stuff. And then like it was the weirdest thing because like the company that he was working for got acquired by like the other company he was working for.
Mhm.
And so like he just had to like pick that one and go with that one basically.
Yeah.
That happened to be Microsoft. And
Mhm.
so he eventually moved up with that and stuff. And then all that kind of happened. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I didn't grow up like wealthy or anything like that. Like we would get shoes from like Payless, man. Like I remember getting my first Nike like soccer cleats. Like
Mhm.
that was a moment. I was like, damn, like
Yeah.
Nikes, man. So
Yeah.
that's sick.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
yeah, dude.
I feel that though.
Right.
100%. Cause like, yeah, my dad like migrated from Jamaica over here. So like kind
Okay.
of always had that foreign parents like mentality, kind of frugal, more frugal, like growing up, figuring things out. But like honestly, a lot of the things I realized like growing up and how I was raised, like I'm really grateful a lot of the qualities I have from being
Oh,
raised in a certain way. Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't like change anything really. I don't
Hmm.
think. I think it's just part of like your development, right? And just kind of like how you
Yeah.
grow. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, dude. So like that's literally I was refereeing soccer games
Hmm.
to like make money. I had like basically like almost 10K saved up.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, oh yeah, for like my age,
That,
I was like, yeah,
yeah.
I'm rich,
Yeah. You
rich.
thought you were a baller.
For real. No, I was like, I was like, that little walk, like I got it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, and so I found like branding and stuff, and I tried to start my own like e-commerce brand
Hmm.
with that. And like, I mean, like looking back, I didn't do the process like wrong or anything.
Hmm.
I just had no idea how to market. So like, I
Yeah.
literally got custom products. I got everything. It looks sick. Like, people loved it, but like, I had no idea how to market. I had no idea how to run
Hmm.
ads. No idea how to like, generate exposure. I had no idea about like top of funnel marketing, middle for like
Hmm.
and so I just had a bunch of products just sitting in my parents' garage.
Yeah.
And then they moved. So like I literally just like ended up losing most of my money on that. Was pretty bummed out. And then I went to college for 1 year. And then after that, I went back from college break, and like I just knew going to college, I was like, this is not something I want to
Hmm.
stay in particularly.
And what were
I
you
just
majoring in at the time?
I was majoring in business admin.
Okay.
So it was like, I don't know. I mean, like it's valuable to an extent, I guess. Like,
Hmm.
at least for me, like I just I don't know. I didn't want to stay in college. I definitely had that weird mindset where it's like I'm gonna be a dropout. Like I'm gonna
Hmm.
do all that, which is like in hindsight, it's like a little I'd say like naive, but
Yeah. Yeah.
like I'm proud about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I had to like my mom's Asian, so like
Hmm.
there's no way in hell she'd let me drop out of college.
Hmm.
Um, so I'd make a deal with her, and she told me that if I could ever like start a business and make more than she makes in a year in like a month, then I could take a break from school. And I was like, okay, like whatever, like that's all I need.
Yeah. She was trying to hold on
Yeah.
to it for you,
Oh yeah,
huh?
she's trying.
Yeah.
Um, and so like that's the craziest part is because like I went to college for a year and like was trying to do like on and off business stuff and like nothing was really kicking. Um,
Hmm.
but I was just delusional. I was like, like it was like I know it's gonna work. I was like I'm like quitting college.
Hmm.
Like it was almost like people would probably call you crazy. Um,
Yeah.
in that kind
I
of
hear
sense. But then I was back in Washington, so I went to the school down in San Diego,
that. Okay.
and then I was back in Washington for break, and that's when I found drop shipping.
Hmm.
Um,
What year is
this
this
was
now?
like this was like 20, I want to say 2015 or 2016.
Okay, so
'Cause I've been
about
in e-commerce
five-ish
for
years
years.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, somewhere around there. And this is when like Instagram was still like chronological, like
Hmm.
like
Oh, okay.
the good old days with Instagram.
Yeah, the good old days.
For real. But yeah, so I found like drop shipping, and like it's the craziest part too how I found it. I
Hmm.
was following this one guy on Instagram that
Hmm.
like he seemed like he just was like living this like luxury little like lifestyle or whatever, and I just followed him. I thought he was sick. And then I had him on Snapchat too. I was a little fanboy, not gonna lie. And yeah, so he posted on Snapchat like a video of like him like saying like I'm making a store or something, and I was like, oh,
Hmm.
that's cool. Like he's doing like e-commerce.
Hmm.
Uh, and then, so I also knew at the same time that he owned a bunch of theme pages on Instagram.
Hmm.
So I knew he owned a bunch of pages. And then, literally, like the next day, he posted a screenshot of his sales, and he had made like 6K in one day.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. Excuse me, I wasn't trying to swear on your,
There you
on your
go.
podcast.
Fine.
But yeah, so I was like, damn, that's wild. And so I went back to his old story, and I looked at this site that he was on. And so I like went on my laptop, went to his website, like inspect all the code and stuff, and I was like, okay, he's using Shopify. Like I basically just like I was just super scrappy, I guess. And so like I just found what he was using. I really just reverse engineered it really.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, using Shopify. I found like
Yeah.
Overflow. I found like some there was like some pull tags in the code for like Overflow or some other apps. I'm not sure. But like I got the gist of it, and I was like, okay, so he's on Overflow, he's doing this, and like kind of like put two and two together, and I was like, okay, he owns a bunch of pages. I
Hmm.
literally followed all the pages that he owned, and
So
I
he
saw,
owned the Instagram pages,
yeah, so he
and he was
owned,
promoting his stuff from his own pages.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So like I followed all those pages, and I looked at all the ads that he used, and like I screenshot all that, and like I was just seeing like
Hmm.
what he was doing, and he had like a little like it wasn't like I would honestly say it was a pretty general store, nothing crazy, um, but like it made like a ridiculous amount of money at the time
Yeah.
from all that. So I was like, okay, like I'm gonna do this. So I spent like the next 2 weeks like working on a site um,
Hmm.
and doing all of that, and then so I had the site ready, but I had no money. Like I literally probably had like $50 in my bank account. I was like,
Hmm.
I don't own pages. I don't own any of that
Yeah.
stuff. So I was like, what am I gonna do? And so I emailed literally like 60 different in like theme page people. Like I
Hmm.
didn't DM them because DMs usually don't get responses.
Hmm.
But I emailed all of them, and I was just like, hey, like I have a store. This is my store. It's live. I don't have money to pay you up front for any sort of ads, but I'll give you. I think I offered like 15% of my entire
Hmm.
store. I
Yeah.
was like, I'll give you 15% if you just want to like promote this. And at the time, like no one had really heard of drop shipping. Like that was brand new in like
Yeah. Because you said what, 2015 time again?
yeah, like there was
Yeah.
one that was like talking
Yeah.
about that. And so like no one had really understood it, but I was like, hey, this is my site. Like they see a brand offer them equity, they're like, hell
Mhm.
yeah. But that wasn't really the case because literally I got no's or just no replies except for
Mhm.
one guy. So like I had emailed like probably like 55 or 60 different people, and then
Mhm.
one guy from Russia responded, and
Mhm.
he owned like probably like 5 or 6 million worth of followers across like
Mhm.
4 pages, and then
Mhm.
from there he eventually like he responded like just kind of with some questions. He was just a little curious, but
Mhm.
eventually he agreed, and then I had like basically followed the similar structure as the other guy with his stores in terms of like what he was showing for his ads, like the picture he
Mhm.
posted, the caption he used. 'Cause again, I didn't know much about marketing, so like I was literally just going off what this guy was doing.
Yeah.
Um, and so from there, I sent the influencer guy all the ads and everything. And so he was in Russia. He was a different time zone. I remember going to bed and I was like, okay, like when I wake up, the ads will be live. Like I was like crossing my fingers for at least like a
Yeah.
sale or something. And I remember waking up, dude, and like this was like the craziest moment of my life. But like I woke up and there was already like $2,000 in sales, and I was like, no way. And
Yeah.
like this is it. Like I was like, this is the
You
moment.
said, yeah.
Like no more.
Yeah.
um,
Bruh.
but yeah, and so like that store ended up doing like 70,000, I think, its first month.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
showed that to
wow.
my mom.
Yeah. What did she say?
And
Or what was her
she
reaction?
didn't believe me at first.
Mhm.
She's like, is this like legal? She's like, are these drugs? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, like bless her soul, so sweet. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
she's just like she didn't know about the space or
Hmm.
anything. Like I barely knew about the space.
Hmm.
Um, but
Or
yeah,
just being able to make that type of money in a month
yeah, no, like
anywhere,
2,000
like,
a day seemed
yeah,
insane
yeah.
to me. I was like,
Hmm.
this is like because I'm like I don't even know how many soccer games I had to ref to get even
That's what I'm,
like close,
yeah,
right? So I was
yeah.
just like,
No, I
okay.
feel that.
So yeah, that rest of that summer, I would just was working on stores and stuff, and
Hmm.
I had like opened like a few different stores selling the same things, and I would like
Hmm.
split test different ads because I realized my weak spot was like my ads. Like I had no idea what I was
Hmm.
doing on ads. So I opened up different stores to test different ways I could do ads without like
Which
ruining
part,
that.
like, your
Uh,
creatives or
Creatives, the copy, like everything, dude. Because
the,
here's the
oh,
thing, I
everything?
didn't even get into paid ads for like the
Hmm.
next like 9 months, which I think like
Oh,
if I
okay.
could fix one thing, I would have gotten into paid ads sooner.
Hmm.
Um, just because I again like I just had no idea what I was doing.
Hmm.
But yeah, I had stuck with like influencer and theme page marketing for like the longest time, and like I got pretty good at that. Just from like again just split testing and seeing like what converted, what sort of like pictures did best, and things like
So
that.
you wanted to use the Instagram influencers to see what converted before you moved on to actual
Yeah,
like
because
Facebook
that's the
ads and
thing.
ads manager.
The way that I saw it, right, is like I had this deal with this influencer that I didn't have to pay anything up front.
Hmm.
So what that means, like it means I get like free exposure for whatever I give him to post.
Hmm.
So I was like basically like I had the ability to test a bunch of different things and
To
see if
see
they
what
work
works.
without losing like any money directly, right,
Hmm.
from my pocket. So like I was able to split test a lot and just kind of see like okay like lifestyle stuff at least on Instagram was
Hmm.
working way better
Hmm.
than just like white backgrounds and things
Hmm.
like that. And so like over time I was like okay this is cool, this is works. And then yeah, I mean damn, from there it's just like I started to figure out like okay, if I brand things kind of like what I was trying to do, then it's easier to convert because you can build actually like a connection with like the potential buyer and like establish a relationship and
Hmm.
do all these other things that like just help you close and make more money.
Hmm.
But yeah, dude, I mean, from there, it's just like I've been doing e-commerce like ever since.
Hmm.
Maybe more towards like branding and stuff like that. I got a little bit into software, um, and then yeah, I mean, like now we're like scaling stores for like clients and stuff. So like it's
Hmm.
it's it's cool.
This man's in his own little space right now.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Bro,
like I got
yeah, Thaddeus. Congratulations again, bro. That's sick.
appreciated, dude.
Yeah,
I feel like
got your own little space. Yeah.
man.
So when you first started like them ads, like you weren't even paying attention to like your ROAS yet or anything, or like
I didn't even know what a ROAS was, bro. To
that's
be honest,
crazy.
it was so like
This man's running a whole business, bro.
yeah,
Making more than a lot of people. He doesn't even know what the ROAS is.
no idea. Like I just knew
Uh-huh.
like I knew like okay, it cost me this much, and I'm
Hmm.
buying it for this much, and I don't have to
Yeah,
pay for shout outs. Uh,
yeah.
I was like, this is the profit.
Hmm.
And like I from there I was like able to use some of that profit and start like buying shout outs on like other pages and other team pages, which is nice. Because then you're just expanding your reach.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
what I found like his pages would die out pretty fast because this is like again Instagram is chronological. So like if someone was post like you'd see that in the order things were posted. And so like if someone's
Hmm.
running ads all the time constantly, like you'd see it pretty often. And like at a certain point, people decide like whether or not they're going to buy from you, and it's pretty hard to get them to change that opinion once they've already made like reached that conclusion. Um,
Yeah.
so like again like his pages died out eventually, and so like eventually it came to a point where like it wasn't worth it for me to continue that store like with him. And so like we just both like just went our separate ways. We both made a bunch of money from it. We were like happy with that. And
Hmm.
then they were just like just taking what I had learned and starting more stores,
Hmm.
and then getting into paid ads and stuff, which was like a whole journey in itself. But
No, yeah,
yeah.
definitely. What's it called? That is something actually funny, bro. The first time I ever seen you was, I think, because you popped back up again, and this is how I find you. But the first time I seen you was like over 3 years ago, bro.
Really?
And yeah, I somehow ran into one of your old YouTube videos somehow, some way. Like before I was even like getting too much into that business space,
Uh-huh.
I think you popped up on one of my things, and I just remember you because you had the R8, and then I think you just dyed your hair. But yeah, I was like, that's crazy. I was like, I think this is a dude I remember when I was like in high school, and now like fourth year of college now. But crazy,
No,
small world.
great. I mean, the RA dude. I like 'cause one of my goals, right? Like
Hmm.
I was a pretty stubborn little kid, but
Hmm.
I wrote on my little goal board that I wanted a supercar
Hmm.
before while I was a teenager. Uh,
Yeah.
and so I got to R8 when I was 19, which was like like I get you could I mean yeah it's a big accomplishment achievement, but like in hindsight, especially for people listening, it's like I
Mhm.
mean, I could have like doubled my money by just
Mhm.
playing around and investing with it and
Mhm.
doing things like that. But it's like,
Mhm.
I mean,
No, yeah.
I, yeah, it's
No, I feel you. I mean, it's life, and I mean, you look at you. You got your office, bro. Got your team in there. You guys are getting stuff done.
yeah,
That's
dude,
nice.
crazy, man.
Yeah. Where are you
A
at
lot of
right now in
responsibility.
California?
Yeah,
No, yeah.
we're over in OC, so kind of
Oh,
by
I
like
got you.
Newport.
I got you. Orange County?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
basically.
got you. I got you.
It's
No,
chill.
that's sick, bro. What's
Yeah,
it called? When you so you got in 2015. It's been about 5 years, and you have about 5 years experience in that business world. In your
yeah.
networking, I assume, once you started getting out there more, your networking got a lot stronger. More people started to know about you. You started to meet a lot more
That's the
people.
thing, too. Yeah, like I think this would be good too for people that are listening, but because I get a lot of people that ask me like, hey, like how do I network with like
Mm,
big people and important people,
mm,
and like really the best way to go about it is like become like valuable to a certain
mm,
space, and then from there like you'll like people will come to you, and like again, like if you can become valuable to a space, like you'll work your way up in that space, and then that network will just be like around you. So it's not like
mm,
you have to like try to reach out to people and stuff. It's really just like yeah, the biggest way to increase your network is like put your head down, work, become valuable to a certain niche or space
mm,
or industry, and then from there, like if you become prominent in like a specific industry, you can reach out to people in other
mm.
industries, and they'll see sort of that value of like, hey, he's
Yeah.
done a lot here.
Mm.
Like then I think that's honestly the best way to network with people,
Yeah.
versus like DMing people like randomly. Like a lot of like guys that I know like that are like big in their own space, like they get so many DMs a day, like it's really hard to break through that kind of noise,
Mm,
going that route versus like if like they have a friend that intros you to them and they're like, hey, this guy's done this, they're like, oh,
mm,
like what's up, and then
mm.
there you can build a relationship.
No, yeah, definitely. Because the more I've realized, just that networking is huge once like you're able to do it. Just because you don't have all the skills that you need for your business or the
Oh
know-hows
yeah.
or starting stuff up. Yeah, that's when I realized like that'll help you skip a couple chapters
Yeah,
by knowing what someone else knows. Yeah, for
honestly,
sure.
like I mean, I wouldn't say all your network, but like so much of your growth can be
Mm,
attributed to your network. um
mm,
I think, I mean, obviously there's a certain like grit, and like you need to be able to like work hard and be consistent. Consistency is so important with this.
mm,
But like from that point on, like if you just have a valuable network, you can always reach out to people like, hey, do you know someone for this? Do you know someone for this? Like,
mm.
like, and just get everything sort of like figured out and stuff. Like, I definitely would not be where I am if it weren't for the people I've met in like that that kind of space.
No, I feel that. What are some of your long-term goals for what you're doing?
Um, oh yeah. So I mean, I've given myself 2 years to exit the ecom space. Um,
Mhm.
I want to get completely out of it. So like I'm
You want to
basically,
get out of econ?
yeah.
What do you want to get into?
I mean, my long-term goal is like I want to start like a space company in maybe like 10 years.
Oh, you
Um,
smart.
like well, we'll see about yeah. So I mean, that's just require a lot of money. So
Yeah.
uh, get that yeah, I just need to go
Mm,
into. I just need to kind of like, I don't know, keep jumping hoop. Um, but like I think between starting a space company and then
mm,
e-commerce, I'll probably get into like fintech, so like financial
mm,
tech or something. Like I've been trying to
mm,
build a network in like San Fran and just like a bunch of VC firms that I've been talking to, a lot of like fund rounding leaders and stuff. Just got to get into that space, sort of break through there, so that when I have like a business that I want to like really sort of explode, I can reach out for like funding and do anything like that, which I think is
yeah.
sort of like that next, at least for me, like sort of that next level. So
Getting
e-commerce is
funding.
great and all, but like
Mm,
I don't know. I just feel like for me, I have to keep challenging myself. Like I get bored so
mm,
easily,
mm,
and I've been doing e-commerce for so long that like it just doesn't, like I'm not fulfilled from it.
mm,
Um, where it's just kind of like mundane, and it's like, I mean, it's, yeah, I just have to keep pushing myself really. Um, but I think a lot of the strategy, like for example, like Tesla's business model and their strategy behind like building their business is something that I think most people should kind of um, like look into.
mm,
Because even with like e-commerce, like I've been spending a lot of my own money trying to become like vertically integrated
mm.
before I exit out of it. So like I have my own processing company now. I have my own
Okay.
like customer service agency. We have our own call center. I have my own like fulfillment center that's opening up in like 2 weeks, I think. Yeah.
Mm.
Um,
That's
Basically
sick.
like, anything that's part of the vertical in the space, I want to like own a piece of that before I exit the space.
Okay.
And like delegate out like teams and their own sort of growth for that before I exit out. So I think giving myself 2 years is pretty. I think I can do that
I
within
got
that
you.
time.
So what are you in like right now in your business? Are you trying to scale it right now? Are you trying to do more with it?
Yeah, I mean, so like, I mean, even right now, like my team and I were probably managing like 16 stores right now.
Mhm.
I want to say, yeah, probably around 16 in terms of just stores themselves. And so like a lot of my time recently has been setting up all the putting everything in place to like scale those stores and then be able to like take on future clients that want, that service.
Yeah.
And then the other half of my time has been like building out all the other verticals, right? So like that processing company, the customer service company, like we have to hire just, a bunch of people that can help manage that and things like that. So it's just like, it's really, I don't know, taking care of like the core business, right? Because that's going to fund everything else. And then building out those other verticals that I can independently scale once they're
Mhm.
go.
What do you think your strength is within your service? Like with all the skill sets that you and your team have, what would you say you would work on?
Like in what sense do you mean? Like,
Just I guess to get things done the quickest, like are you good at running the ads? Are you good at running the creatives for the ads? What are you good at? Or what do you like, I guess, per se?
yeah, I mean, I got really into like creative and like
Mm,
photography and things like
mm,
that. Honestly, sorry, someone else called me.
good.
But yeah, I got really into like creatives and yeah, just photography and editing and things like
Mm,
that. Right after like I had in between, so like my 5 years in e-commerce, right?
mm,
I'd say like around the second year, I had like a really bad breakup with like a
mm,
girl, and
mm.
that caused a lot of things to like go downhill. Um,
Okay.
with that like particular, like even with my businesses that caused a lot to go downhill, which is just like something interesting to
Mm,
think about. But yeah, that's what got me into photography and editing and things. So like content and just sort of like branding and stuff. I got really into that afterwards just because I wanted to like go out and just like, I don't know, just take photos. Like I had a bunch of friends that were doing that. Again, I lived in Washington State. So like
mm.
PNW, like everyone's a photographer up there. Um,
Yeah.
doing all that. And then, I mean, I really just had to learn every aspect of it before like
Mm,
I could hire people to really do it so that I
mm,
could fully understand it. Right. Um, the way that I kind of look at it, it's not like I had to learn, how to build a website properly, how to like optimize that for conversions, how to create content that will actually convert or like stop people from scrolling, or like actually like build like some sort of connection with the customer. Basically, like all these different things you kind of have to like know, and that's why like a lot of people too that when they get into e-commerce or things like that, like they think e-commerce itself is like a skill to learn when it's
mm.
really not. Like e-commerce is just a bunch of
The
different
online, yeah.
skills. It's just a bunch of different skills combined. Like you need to know how to build a website. You need to know how to run paid ads. How
And
to
those
do
are all skills within itself.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why like if people are trying to like learn like, oh, I'm trying to like learn ecom, it's like, okay, well, don't learn ecom. Just learn each of these different skills, and then
Mm,
you can compile all of them to perform well in the e-commerce space, right? Like you can learn those skills and take them anywhere. You can start your own agency.
yeah.
Like have a web development agency if you get good at building websites. It's not like just like e-commerce and stuff. Um, but yeah, I had to get like somewhat decent at all of those before I could really sort of like branch out and delegate that out to other people
Hmm.
below me. So at least like I could at least know what to tell them to do, or at least
Hmm.
aware of what they're doing and if they're doing it properly.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, really, it's just like I really enjoy content creation and stuff. So like even my Instagram, like I just like editing. Like that's really just like my like pastime, I guess. Like if I'm
Hmm.
just like stressed or if I just want to like take a little breather, I'll just like edit photos, or something like that, which is just like a nice little breather, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
I feel.
but
How
yeah,
did you meet your team?
um, so which part of the team? So like I've teams
Mhm,
overseas and then I've
mhm.
got here.
Okay, teams here. Did you mainly meet them over like social media? How did you build that little network right
So I originally was because like I would get a bunch of people DM me and they were like, hey,
there?
I'll work for you for free or
Mhm.
like all this stuff and like
Yeah.
I tried to go that route. Um, but like I quickly realized like, and this is not even to like to bash on anyone that like wants to
Mhm,
work for someone for free, right? Like obviously like you want to like learn what they're doing and stuff. But like for me, it's like if I had to hire someone to like fulfill for like this store, like I need them like really like to fulfill for the store, right? It's like I can't hire them and like offer like mentorship or something, right? Like
Mhm.
while they're supposed to like be doing
I see what you're saying.
so like I kind of like was forced to like grow out of that. And like I had a buddy that did a lot of like consulting for like businesses over in San Fran.
Hmm.
And so I just asked him, I was like, hey, like how do you tell like a business, like because like he talks like businesses worth like billions and multi-million dollar like companies. And so I was talking to him about like just like building a team and hiring, because I think that's one of my weaknesses is like being able to build a proper team. Because like I think I'm probably like too nice to people for the most part. Like with business, like you kind of gotta like make sure you set boundaries or certain like roles and responsibilities for things, and like that's not something I
Hmm.
was good at doing.
Yeah.
um but yeah, so like he kind of like helped me, and like from there I was just like, okay, I need to actually like hire basically like adults that were like understanding of the role and responsibility they were supposed to be doing and would like follow through with that I could kind of like trust and rely on. I do hire like a lot of like younger people for like internships or like simpler jobs and
Hmm.
tasks and stuff, but for the most part now it's really just like how a real business would hire. Like we'll put job postings out,
Yeah.
kind of like get in a few different applicants and sort of like interview them and just see if they're fit for the role.
Yeah. Do you look for a degree?
No, actually.
You
I
look
mean,
for
like
some
I feel
skills
like
or
I'd
what?
be a hypocrite if like I don't I feel like, I mean, there's definitely some jobs even now, like even as things are like kind of like moving around,
Mm.
I mean, like I mean, you don't want to like have a doctor perform on you if they haven't been to
No,
medical,
yeah.
right? But there's a lot of industries now that like I don't think you need a degree at all,
Mm.
qualified for the job. And so like any of the jobs that we're hiring for, like I don't ask for a degree. It's
Mm.
nothing crazy.
No,
It's just like,
yeah.
can you do it? Have you done something similar? Like, let's see. Awesome. Like, cool.
Yeah. I would learn a lot about business. So I've always been into the stock market, but I
Yeah.
just loved business in general. So I would research just a lot about business, how to run business, how to do this and that, what SEO is, how to rank higher on SEO, just all that type of stuff. And I would go to my business classes and I would do a lot of that studying just on my own time. And it wasn't even like work, it was just like stuff I liked to do. And I think that's like how I did come across you one time, just because I was researching a lot about business.
Right.
And yeah, and then like just going to my classes, like there's some I wouldn't like go to. I'm not saying like if you're in college, you shouldn't go to your classes, but I went it just because I wanted to work on like my other stuff in my room. I felt like it was kind of a distraction. And at the same time, I would show up on exam day and it was like the same stuff I taught myself like way before prior that I didn't even know I was going to need for this class, but I already knew it. And I was like, wow, this is a lot of like general information. And I'm paying a lot of money for this, like some pretty
Right.
basic information. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't, there's nothing against going to college. Like, I mean, like I've been in college, yeah, and all that type of stuff. But
I think it's like, I think the best way to look at it is like, again, like one, if you're not disciplined, I think you
mhm.
should stay in college, because the one thing
Oh,
you're good at doing is like they'll tell you what you need to do. Like you need to do
mhm,
this by this date.
mhm,
I've seen a lot of friends that dropped out or did things like that, and they get lazy. They don't have the self discipline to be like,
mhm,
'cause, like when you like the way that I've always had to think about this, and like when I'm working or doing anything like that, is like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm my own boss, I have my own hours, I blah blah blah,
mhm,
like all this kind of stuff. It's like, no, like that's the
mhm.
complete opposite. Like
Yeah,
you
you
feel that,
work more.
yeah, you work more hours, and like your customers are your boss. Like if
Hmm.
you don't have
You're
customers, like
yeah,
like what are you doing?
you have to tend to everything and everyone. If, whether it's a problem in the business, you have customers that or people that are reaching out that need help in this area, and you're doing more work than you would working a 9 to 5 realistically,
Oh,
and you have more risk. And then yeah, people forget the risk you have to take on in your personal life to achieve things like building your own type of business, stuff like that.
and the
Yeah.
fact too is like there's a few buddies that I know have like dropped out, and they're what they do. And I like, again, like, I'm not trying to bash anyone. I'm
No, yeah.
saying this like to like,
No,
whoever's
it's
listening.
good advice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just being real.
the way like that I have found that works best, in terms of like just thinking and like helping you get stuff done, is like assume that you're not the boss and you're working for someone else, and like you have these things to be done. And like I always ask myself, like, okay, if I didn't do these tasks today, like would my boss have fired me? Like would I have actually been fired? Like what would have happened, right?
Mhm.
Because if you don't have anyone telling you what to do, it's very easy to push things off, or like, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. Like, oh, this website is not done. Okay, I can work on that tomorrow. It's not a big deal. But if you act like you have someone above you all the time, then you're like, okay, if I push it back, like I probably would have been, like, I could have been fired. All this stuff. Cause like I had a buddy that I was telling him like, hey, you need to be like sending out like daily emails to your email list, or like build an email list and send out those daily emails for your following. And he was like, oh yeah, you're right. Like I should do that. And I was like, I know you should do it. Like, so you should do it, bro. And he kept saying that. And then like, it was like a month later, and I asked him like, yo, like, where you at with that? And he still hadn't, like, I think he had set up an autoresponder, but he wasn't doing the daily emails yet. And I'm just like, bro, if you think about it, like, if you had a boss that told you, hey, we need to build out this, we need to start, one, collecting emails, and two, we need to start emailing every single day. If you had a boss that told you that, you would have done that the first day. So I was like, why are you, like, you're only hurting yourself in the long run if you can't stay disciplined, which is like, going back, like, I think college helps build that, or school in general kind of helps build that sort of discipline, which I think is really important. And then like connections too, like for college, I think the biggest thing is connections. That's super underrated. I know a lot of the kids that, want to like drop out and just do their own thing. I think it's a mix, but like some people just aren't that social. And like if you're not good at being very, social in social settings, or like, putting yourself out there, then that can be detrimental to you and sort of like your journey, because like your network is really important. So being in college for that network and building those connections, I think, is also super valuable. But in terms of like education itself, like, you can learn most things without college, I'd say. So yeah, I just, like, that's just my 2 cents.
No, I agree too. And like, just going back to getting things done, like how you're saying, like, it's so easy to push things off to the side, and just like, especially when when you do things on your own terms, when it's like stuff you're running or stuff you're doing, and you're kind of the boss. Yeah, you're the boss, so you can move whatever you want when it can hurt you. Like, I've even realized the best way for myself is, I know sometimes I'll get like kind of stressed out because I'm like, yo, I got to do this, got to do this, got to do this. But the best thing I realize is, so many people waste so much time stressing out and trying to strategize things. The best thing I found for myself is to just do it. Like, just don't even think about it. Like, what's the next thing I need done, and just get it done. And when I do that, okay, what's the next thing, and then just get it done. But
I think a lot of it comes down to like the process, right? It's like, like, you can have so many things that you need to get done that you can kind of just put yourself in sort of like you just freeze up. That happens to me a lot too, just because like my to-do list just never ends.
it's just like there's always something you could be doing.
Exactly. There's always
something.
Exactly. So it's just really just kind of like, you, again, discipline and like focus, and just consistency, just not like slacking off and just showing up every day. Like, I know it sounds so cliche, man, but
no, that's what I literally say that all the time. I say, I know it sounds so cliche, but it's just so facts.
Like, it's literally, it's, oh man, like, I don't, like, I know people will listen to this and be like, oh, like, they're right. It is consistency, but they won't take that to heart. Like, it really is consistent.
And I'm telling you, people would literally shock themselves if they actually put some hard work and consistency in every day. People would shock themselves on what they could like achieve or do.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, it's like that compounding effect. Like, I mean, like, bro,
I've literally been talking about
1%
that.
improvement a day.
1%, yeah. Have you read Atomic Habits?
No, it's on my list though.
Okay, bro. Yeah, they literally talk about that 1% a day and how it compounds into some serious results. Yeah.
It's just like, if people understand how like compounding affects their everyday life, like everything compounds, your daily habits, your like morning,
whether it's good or bad. Yeah, even bad habits will compound.
Exactly. So it's just like, just being super on top of that, I guess.
You got to be willing to really go through some stuff to do things on your own terms.
I mean, yeah, that is so true. I mean, there'll be days like, even now, like, especially out in Cali and stuff, like, that's why I didn't want to move to Cali right away, because I knew there's a lot of distractions. Like, nice beaches, you got LA, you got like all this stuff. It just comes down to discipline, really, and just being like, hey, I need to get this done, like, for myself and for my future.
Yeah,
it's really just like, it all like really just rests on your own shoulders, like, at the end of the day. And it's just like, can you kind of like can you keep up with that?
I feel.
I think that's the biggest thing. Like, if like the people like trying to do something with their life, like, it's just like, again, it also sounds super cliche, but just don't give up. Like, I was so deluded. Like, most kids probably would have given up if you had lost your entire savings. trying to do something. Like I was definitely like, damn, this sucks. I was like, I could go back to playing video games with my friends all day and just like chilling and not caring. But then like, you go through those ebbs and flows of just like feeling down and feel like that's also the thing too. It's like, I know a lot of people get into like doing your own business or doing your own thing because they want to like, experience life to the fullest and like all that kind of stuff. And like, I think a thing too to realize is like experiencing life to the fullest, especially in like a business sense or doing your own thing sense, is like you're going to experience like all the highs, the highest of the highs, but you also experience like the lowest of the lows. Like I've never felt lower than like some days in like business and stuff where things were just so tough or just like you don't know how to figure certain things out and you're just like, oh man, like the stress can really get to you if you gotta kind of like just keep yourself kind of like level headed.
Especially when you're just starting off, because I mean, whenever there is an issue, especially like if you're at the top of the food chain whenever you build whatever you're building. So it's like it's your problem. Like you have to figure it out, whether you have the skills for it or not. You have to somehow figure it out. So
Right.
I get that 100%. But no, whenever I come down in Cali, bro, you're gonna have to give me a tour of that office.
Yeah, dude. Literally,
Yeah,
anytime
bro.
you're around, you can swing by whenever.
Yeah, for sure. Got to see Boss Thaddeus in action.
Oh man,
Dang, that's sick to see other entrepreneurs like excelling, getting their own like places and all that. Like
it's
that's dope.
crazy too. Like what the internet's allowed people to do.
Bro, it's ridiculous. That's why I started Passion to Profit, bro. Like my little slogan is it's 2020, turn your passion to profit. Because I honestly think that like whatever your hobby is, whatever you like, there's some way you can turn it into
Oh,
some form of
100%.
business. Yeah.
It's just so crazy to think about like the time we live in right now. Like, just think about this, dude. Like, literally 20 years ago, if you wanted to start your own business, like it would be a brick and mortar business.
Yeah.
You have to either have the money or take a big loan out, which could eat you alive if you didn't know what you were doing. So you didn't have much room to fail. And it's like the friction now to actually get into like a business, like you
Yeah.
could
The cost of
just
entry.
less than $100. Like,
Yeah.
versus like starting a brick and mortar and like it takes you 20 years to actually scale it to something that you could scale a store at within 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is
Just the education we have, the free education you can
yeah,
find and learn is crazy.
it's just like yeah, like 10-15 years ago, like you couldn't really do this,
Yeah.
at least 20 years ago. But yeah, man, that's just like people just need to seize the opportunity while it's here.
If you've seen the last one, like Sean and stuff, like, yeah, you guys are business guys, but I even like, I just want to get people in different, like people that are excelling in their area. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
people know me as like, yeah, Earl, he's like stock market TikTok dude or whatever. But like, I really like appreciate other entrepreneurs and like how they excel in other industries.
oh
That's why it's like, yeah, let me get some ecom people, like other people doing
everyone's
this.
got a
Like,
cool story, which is sick.
yeah, exactly. And they're all, you can do some form of business just in a different industry. So I think that's dope. Hopefully next time I do a podcast with you, you're doing your own. What did you want to do after this again? Some
I
space
mean,
stuff?
yeah, that's a long-term goal,
No,
hopefully.
yeah, long term, but
For that, I mean, yeah, we'll see where I end up, man. Who knows? Like, you can plan for a few years ahead, but I mean,
yeah.
like a few years ago, I did not plan. Like, I did not think I'd have an office here in Orange County, right? So it's like, just take
Mhm.
everything in stride and just capitalize
No,
on what you can.
no, that's facts. It's like, it's just crazy what could happen. Like even TikTok, like, so last year I bought like my YouTube camera and stuff because I was like, yo, all right, gonna start from scratch, just start
Right.
building this following. And then like TikTok just like sped up the process. It's like, dang, I was ready.
Right?
This is exactly what I'm trying to do, but it's just crazy that the internet, like it's like the harder you work, the luckier you get. You know, like you heard that
Oh,
saying. It's like,
100%.
yeah, and that's so true.
It's really like and like you need to be open minded. That's also
Hmm.
a big thing because this goes back to like I hate using my buddies, but like
Hmm.
it goes one of my buddies, and he's been trying to like build his personal brand and stuff, and like he originally built his on Facebook, and he had like a pretty large personal following on that through his pages, and then he was gonna go through YouTube, right? And he like bought like the camera gear, like kind of you were saying, like he like, got a little setup and stuff, and he was trying to start that, but he wasn't gaining much traction and stuff, and I've been telling him, I was like, dude, like you need to like, again, where are the eyeballs? Like where are people at right now? Everything's looking at on TikTok right now. Like TikTok is where like most of attention is at, right now at least. And it's just like he was very like, oh no, my brand is like professional, so I need to stay on YouTube, like not do TikTok. I was like, bro, you can have a professional brand on TikTok. Like it's um just being open minded and like being willing to like change. I know a lot like change is uncomfortable, but being able to pivot you know, your
Oh,
entire
that's
business model
huge.
is so important. Like there's
Mhm.
like there's some decisions that like have like that I can attribute to like entire businesses based on like one small pivot. I was like, yo, we need to do this like right now. We're gonna change direction and do this. And it's like if we didn't, then like that business would have just completely flopped. And it's like
Mhm.
you just gotta like be willing to pivot and like just not be afraid of change, I guess. Like
Mhm.
it's
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's huge. And I mentioned it in the other interview, being able to adapt, especially as like owning
yeah.
some type of business, like being able to adapt is huge. Trial and error. Like literally, that's how I learned most of the stuff in the stock market. Literally, and actually, it's crazy because when I was literally just getting into it, senior year of high school, I was like, I'm gonna like figure this out one day, and like I'm gonna teach people. I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna teach people, because I figured out, I was like, wow, like this isn't even too difficult. It's just the fact that like getting the information, what's the right information, and connecting all the pieces to the puzzle. But even just starting seeing, just messing up, bro, like messing up, I'm like, oh, I need to do that next time. Oh, I need to look out for that next time. And it's like you can only mess up so many times to where you actually start figuring stuff out. You get those light bulbs going off, connecting the pieces to the puzzle. And then I was like, yo, finally I figured out so much. And then now I see a lot of beginners like struggling in certain areas, and I'm like, oh, I know it's like super overwhelming, but I'm like, it's actually like this simple. And a lot of people I found online try to make it sound so complicated to kind of make themselves sound super smart and like they know something that you don't,
Mm.
when in reality that's not the case. But it's just crazy like how far you can come with like just consistency, like trial and error, pivoting, adapting to certain situations. Like
It's like you almost like sounds weird, but like almost like you have to be like very like liquid with your movement.
mm,
Like you gotta be able to like
mm,
go with it. Um,
mm,
just being very like if you're just resistant to like the change that's already like happening and stuff, then it's just like you're just gonna hurt yourself in the long run. And
mm,
like, would you rather be uncomfortable for a little bit and like win, or like just like stay in the same spot,
mm.
end up regretting it? You know?
Yeah. And then, but one thing to help a lot of people through that is a lot of people really care a lot about what other people think. And I know it's super hard, especially when you're just getting started with something. Yeah. Especially when you're just getting started with something, like the judgment that'll come left and right, bro. Like
Oh,
it's
it's
insane.
wild.
It's insane. And I will say one of my best qualities is like, I realize like I really don't care what people have to say. Like
That's
to like,
good.
yeah.
I didn't have that quality. Like I was,
Yeah.
because again, like I told you about the YouTube thing when I started off
Mm,
as like a kid, like I let that get to my head so quick. Like
mm,
kids in my high school found out I had a little gaming channel, and
mm,
I just stopped it. I was like, okay,
yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I let that get to my head, and it's just like, you know, who knows what that path would
Mm,
have led down, but like,
yeah.
you know, just not, yeah, you really just gotta just not
Mm,
care, and that's hard to do.
yeah.
But I think that's why
Yeah.
it's at the same time, it's like if you lay low, while you're working stuff, just keep your head down and focus. Like
Mm,
you just don't, you know, you won't have as much
mm,
sort of like people coming at you like that. And then like I think another important thing too is like don't let the positive and the negative like people get to your head.
I think ego will get in your way, especially like a lot of times without
Oh,
you even
oh yeah,
realizing. Yeah.
ego and pride will probably be the biggest things that slow you down the
Hmm.
road. um
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, pride, ego, like that can stop you from making important decisions that you like
Hmm.
know you should make but don't want to make. Like there's a lot that can kind of happen with that, and so it's just something at least to be aware of with a lot
No,
of people.
that's
Yeah.
facts. Yeah, because the older I've gotten to, especially the last couple of years, I realize how important like self-development is in the aspect of like learning yourself, your subconscious, like your habits, why you do things, certain stuff like that. I realize will take you a long way, especially whenever there's something you're trying to build, because there's always going to be critics, whether it's good or bad. There's always going to be critics, and that's one thing I see why people never even get started on anything they want. Because one thing, people in my personal life, they know like, oh, Errol seems like confident, whatever. But like even one time in one of my college like classes, we for a final project we had to present, and like, bro, I think I'm chilling, like I'm waiting, I'm like, finally it's almost my turn, bro. I get up there, and like I'm grown, bro, like full dude in college, and then like I just like blank, bro, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I just get up there, and it was the most random thing ever, like never happened to me. And then I just like for some reason just blanked on everything, and I remember just sitting there like my heart pounding.
Oh.
And oh, yeah, maybe there's a couple people that was in the class that's gonna watch this, I don't know, but so, yeah, sorry about that. But no, literally I was just like, yo, I just said it. I was like, I'm so nervous, like I just said it. And because I always just think like saying how you feel is like just the best way. I was like, honestly, I'm mad nervous. I think that's exactly what I said. I was like, I'm mad
Mhm.
nervous for some reason. And I just like laughed. But that was the hardest presentation to get through. And it's just crazy to me because at that time, bro, it was before I started like any type of social media stuff. And I always wanted to teach people. So I was like, yo, if I can't speak in front of a class, bro, like how am I gonna go in front of a camera or
Right.
this or that and make videos? And then it's just crazy to see how far you can come because I mean I've been pretty confident in certain areas, like of not caring what people think. So it was really weird when that happened. I was like, why am I just like mad nervous out of nowhere? But now like I'm just talking perfectly fine on a camera and it's just weird, like dang.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's just you like evolving, you know, and just
Hmm.
going through the
Yeah,
journey.
appreciate your time coming
Yeah,
on.
dude.
Is there anything you want to leave with some people listening that is on maybe trying to grow their own business or growing whatever it is they want to grow?
You got to realize, like,
Let's thank Thaddeus for taking his time to come talk for a little bit. We appreciate it. Congratulate him on his office space, got everything going. His team is
dude.
going to be the next Elon Musk doing NASA stuff or whatever.
Right? One day, one
Yeah,
day.
bro. Yeah, bro. But yeah, no, bro. Thanks for your time. We'll
Yeah,
catch
man.
you next
I
time.
appreciate you
Yeah.
having me
Oh,
on.
yeah. No, real quick. I'm going to leave all of Thaddeus's social medias up. So make sure you guys check him out. Follow him. If you have more ecom questions, hit him up. He might be a little busy, but follow the boy. But all right.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Thaddeus.
man. Appreciate you.
All right. Yep.